Hello, hello. So I've been getting a lot of realizations around things, so I'm trying to just get them out there. Maybe something that will help you guys. But for me, I spent a lot of my life overanalyzing, overthinking a lot. I don't think there's a time I can remember where I can really focus and I really paid attention to what was happening because I was always focused on what had happened, even if it was just a moment before. You sit down and you're at an important thing and you're like, or event, and something's happening and you're focused so hard on paying attention. You're focused so hard on just trying to burn it into your brain that you're supposed to pay attention to this. And when the thoughts come in and everything starts racing and you're thinking about the bills, or you're thinking about uh, maybe something wrong with your car, or something you have to do at work next week, whatever it may be, you're getting caught in that loop. And like, that loop has terrorized my mind for a long time. And I would hear people say, well, be here, be now, be in the moment. This moment's the only moment that matters. And you could say that all day. You could mean that. You could say that from a good place in your heart, but for somebody who thinks and is always assessing and always looking for the answers to things, reevaluating things, observing other people for reasons that may be defensive, or maybe, just things happening, loud noises, or you're watching this family across the room while you're at a basketball game and their kids are acting out, and you're like, you know pretty much assessing what's going on in that situation. And you can see how people act and how they treat each other, and silly things that your mind will just latch onto. You're like, oh, okay, I gotta focus over there. But you may be at your kid's basketball game, or you may be at his musical, or you may just be sitting at home and you're trying to relax because you got to go back in and go to work tomorrow, and you got to get back into, you have daily life things happening, and you never feel like you have time for yourself. And so I would listen to these things. I would listen to them say, hey, be here now, live in the moment. And I'm like, I think I am. I think I am. I'm trying. All right, let me go look at this tree. And I'm going to go outside and I'm going to look at that tree. And I'm just trying to take it in, but it's not, I can't grasp it. It's like, okay, what am I doing this here for? And I got that, the realization that, for me, another thing is like always wanting to fix. Like I want to fix and heal and change and grow and get closer to God, and whatever that means. So I'm always reflecting. And so you get out of the loop of, okay, well, I'm thinking about, negative thoughts, and I'm thinking about work, and I'm thinking about things that piss me off, or I'm thinking about what this person did to me. And now I'm thinking about, all right, how do we be more positive? How do we how do we grow from this situation, or how do we grow? A thought comes up from your past, and you're like, okay, well, let's work through this for a minute. Let's get through this. And, you're trying to heal and grow. But at the same time, I'm taking in information constantly, trying to find the right words to be said, or the right feelings to come off, or read the right book. um, I'm always waiting for something to give to me what I feel like I need. And I realized that was a loop. That, I'll jump on a YouTube video and I'll listen to a YouTube video tell me how to do something, when to do something, how this should affect me, whatever that is. And I'm really just getting stuck back into it, because unless I take that information and I apply it to my life, which is very helpful, I can't say that I haven't learned a lot. I haven't grown a lot from information that I've heard. But I think there's a point where you're just wanting to, just the same as somebody who wants to sit and scroll on TikTok all day and get stuck in that loop. You can get stuck in the healing loop, in the taking in information loop. And it's important for your own growth to realize that you're here to make the decisions for you. And any other outside information is just, it can bring you clarity. It can bring you from looking at a situation as bad or negative and trying to understand it, whether, past situations, maybe you got an argument and you were thinking I'm right, okay, or, a big problem with someone who is like me is I will start off as, oh, I'm right, argue it all day, walk away from the conversation, and realize that they had some right parts too. So now I'm feeling bad because I just pushed my agenda all the way down their neck. And now not only do you feel hurt because they were stepping all over, you felt like they were stepping all over you, and you were taking that situation to the extreme. Now you feel like you stepped on them. And so you have, on both fronts, you're getting hit with doubt, and you're getting hit with instability and thoughts and more things to try to figure out. And you're not really letting go of anything. You're not really putting it down and moving on with your life and realizing that it's okay. You're going to have arguments. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have the thoughts. And, and honestly, now that I look at it, it's a blessing. It's a blessing that I can see others' perspective, even if it's too late, whatever's too late. I can see that. I can see where I play a role, and sometimes it's my lack of understanding that if I just let go a little bit and try to understand others, then that's all I can do. I can't really force everything. But I'm kind of getting off topic. The the ability to just be in the moment and really hear and feel and see what's happening around you, it's a hard thing to grasp, even though it's the simplest thing to say. And you're not meant to see everything. You're not meant to experience everything. You're not meant to understand everything. If it was out of 100%, and you're only noticing 1% of everything happening around you. You only need to realize that 1%. What is relevant to you? You're not going to find it in all of your answers in signs and synchronicities and messages from God, or a YouTube video or a book or your friend or your neighbor or your parents. You're not going to find all the information you need in any of those things. You're going to find nuggets of information that help push you along. You're going to see how your life and how you react to these people and who you want to be if you reflect enough about that. But at the end of the day, you're only meant to experience the 1%. Now, I know in a way that's, this is maybe someone else is on their journey in the same way, that you've taken in all this information, and you just kind of feel lost because you know where you want to go in life. You have faith that you're going to get there, but you're kind of stuck in a weird limbo of, well, I'm not really seeing it, but I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to keep taking in information, because if I get more, I'll know more, and I'll be able to change and grow and be whatever this is when you already are. You may still have those thoughts in the back of your mind that are sitting there, that you say, I want to be successful. Okay, what does that mean? What is successful to you? Is it just having money? Is it having a loving family? Is it having things? Is it having time? Is it being closer to God? Is it having collectibles? You know, what is wealth and abundance and fulfillment in your life? And just focus on that. That's your 1%. Just the things that you fill your life with, and being grateful for them, that they're there. You have, say it's just a plant in the corner of your house. There's that plant's there for a reason. It either brings some level of comfort, it looks good, and which makes you feel a certain way about it looking good. And you may walk past it every single day and not even really notice it. You may have done it the first time you ever bought it, and then it was like, oh, okay, I'm used to it now. I don't need to worry about it. But I think the closer you to get to really living in the moment is, you start taking the little things, and you're just like, that's so simple, but it's beautiful. And and seeing how that feels to you, I see it with my kids, like with with my sons, like when I see them accomplish something or do something, or when they smile or they laugh, or even when I see the sadness and just human things happening with them. And both of my sons are aged way apart. I have a 13-year-old and a 1-year-old. So not even one. He's 3 months old. I say one, but um, I think with those two, like I missed a lot with my 13-year-old. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't present in my mind. I was there for almost everything, but even the things I was there for, I wasn't there. And now my 3 month old is, I'm watching him. Just I'm around and I'm here and I'm present and I'm able to experience, and I see that how much. Yeah, he may scream for hours on end and drive you absolutely nuts. But that's part of it. You don't get to experience the good without experiencing everything else. And you don't have to look at it negatively. Like, that's I could sit there and listen to him scream for 4 hours, and then if he turns around and he's smiling, he's playing, I'm not holding the 4 hours against him. I'm not, all right, let me completely shut off, and I'm not gonna, you're nothing. You pissed me off. I'm done with you. No, he's a baby. He needs attention, and there's nothing like the smile of a child. You know, you he's done. You go over there and you're trying to play with him, and he's like, he finally smiles and he's looking at you, and he's like, this is your whole world to him. Like, he only sees you when you're right in front of him. Other than that, he can't even move his head very well. So he's like looking around, checking out the house, but it, his experience is you. And even for my 13-year-old, his experience is the things he can see and the things he can finds relevant to him. His parents, his friends, his school, his goals, his dreams. And for kids, they can focus on that and they can live in the moment. They can be in the moment, and they don't have the same worries and restrictions as we do unless we put that on them. They're just living. They're just being. And I think it's as simple as that. Like, I'm making this way more difficult than it needs to be, even trying to explain it, because it is a difficult thing to just put into words. And if I just say anything, it's just that just pay attention to your 1%. If you catch yourself thinking about things, okay, you thought about things. You're worried about your money. You're worried about your job. You're worried about your dog Rufus, that he's not doing so well. But don't let that stop you from living the moment now and just observing, just seeing what's happening. Okay, you have a thought. All right, this is what we're doing right now. Maybe jot it down, put it in your notes in your phone. Okay, we'll check in with that later. If it's that important to you, you'll get back to it. If it's not, let's focus on now. Let's get to it. And I'm just I'm saying it, and I know at the same time, like, there's still that part of me whispering in the back of my head, like, oh, well, you're still gonna work, you're still gonna struggle with it, you're still gonna have thoughts, you're still going to go through a lot of the same processes until you finally realize. And the realizing isn't anything more than just not getting stuck on everything else, not worrying about everything else. Those are driving factors to get you push you forward, and those are, there's things that are important that you do need to focus on, but they don't need to run your day. If they're interfering with you getting to experience your kid's smile, or seeing them accomplish something, or being there for your family, then that's a sign for you to just start realizing. We all go through processes, and it takes more time than just, okay, I am done with this. We can say we're just done, but coming from someone who's dealt with addiction and dealt with uh, pain my entire life, I know, and I know that You may start something and you're going to stop it, and you're going to start it and you're going to stop it. That's your mind. That's how it works. Until you figure out who the version of you that you really want. If it's that version of you that's paying attention, you're present. Even if you're not saying things, you don't have to say or do anything. Are you able to be? And yeah, I think that's just it. I'm overcomplicating it. I like to do it, but I think, just working through these realizations and putting it out there in this kind of way helps me set it in and sink it in and grow in the way that I need. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that I can just sit here and talk, and whether one person sees it or 200 people see it, I'm getting what I need out of doing something like this. So I'm just going to spend my day being. I'm just going to figure out, let things happen and see what comes along and catch those thoughts and just let them pass on by, and remember that, that bush that I'm looking at, or my wife or my kid, and or some tree, like, when I'm looking at those things, I'm looking at those things. It is what it is. The thoughts going on aren't what I'm they're an experience because I'm allowing them to be that experience. But what do I want to be my experience? Okay, I'm doing something. Let me do that. That's what I want my experience to be. That's why I'm doing it. All right. I'll leave this rant here, and maybe I'll post it. Maybe I won't. But have a good day. Thank you.